You're listening to Turi Writers' She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, when things break down, are you really, really surprised? Also, stuck on a mountain and stolen diapers for Marcy's goat. I wish that I could actually say, well, I'm just agoraphobic and I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun, I think.
Oh, I don't think so. I've been going over and over and over again with Frankie about how I don't go anywhere. We've been down a vehicle, one or the other, for the last almost month.
Yeah.
And so I'm like stuck here if Eve has to go to the doctor, if anything happens. So I am stuck at home. And the only time I can really leave is on the weekend. But on the weekends, he's too tired from working all week, which I understand. So, no, you would not enjoy it.
Oh, well, maybe not if I were up on a mountain, but I have
With no internet.
no internet. Yeah, that would probably do it.
Duke Perry is at the mechanic.
Oh, so that's the thing. So you're going to get Duke Perry fixed and then you won't be stuck.
Yes.
Okay.
We are going to drive Duke Perry down to Mexico for our 16th anniversary.
Aw.
And so I said, make sure the air conditioner is going to work the entire way down. Make sure the engine is going to work the entire way down. And most importantly, make sure we have satellite radio working the entire way down.
Well, I sent the mommy van in for repairs before we went to see Small Cutie in Toronto. But unfortunately, mechanics do not have crystal balls. You should pardon the expression. And so everything worked except about halfway through the trip, the battery died. But it died. I'm convinced that things that break give you a hint that they're about to explode. They don't just kaboom. But sometimes a hint is the bad thing. Like when you're dating, if you can remember a zillion years ago, you would start to get hints that maybe something was wrong. But if you didn't,
I was bad about those hints.
Yes, exactly.
I missed them all.
Precisely. That is my 100% accurate. That is the point. So if you're the kind of person who misses hints, your car is giving you a hint that all is not well, but it hasn't exploded yet. And so like a relationship, you think, well, I can make this work. There's nothing seriously wrong. So in Toronto, the spousal unit parked the car a zillion miles away, as is his habit, where the parking was free. And then he came back and told me he wanted to move it a little closer to the curb, but it wouldn't start. So we would need to call AAA and get it towed to a mechanic. And I said, well, let me go out with you and just see what exactly seems to be the problem. And when I went out after dinner, it started right up. So I looked at him like he was a maniac. And then we drove it to our Airbnb, and that was fine until the morning when the hint that I had gotten in the middle of rural suburban Toronto turned out to be a very accurate prediction, and it didn't start again. And that time we had to call AAA. But again, I miss hints. If I had paid proper attention, I would have thought, well, the battery must be dying. Instead of thinking, well, my spouse must be a dope, which is my go-to position on many things.
Great.
Can't be there's something wrong with this car that's got 200,000 miles on it and is 15, 20 years old. It must be that my husband doesn't know what he's talking about. That's my...
Did you buy a battery in Canada?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And did it work?
Everything's been fine ever since, yes.
In Canadian money?
Yeah.
Pictures of the Queen?
No, the Queen's not on my credit card.
Duke Perry's worst transgression was right after we got him, and we took him up to Montana. And as we were driving home, the transmission went out.
Ooh.
Like literally died somewhere in Idaho.
Ooh.
And nobody in Idaho apparently knows how to work on a Nissan.
It's not an American car. It's because you didn't buy an American car.
But it took us days to get home. Literally.
Did people?
Days.
Did people?
We couldn't be on the highway. We had to drive through the Zion National Park up and down the mountains because we couldn't go any faster than like 20 miles an hour.
That's hilarious.
And we got home and found out, oh yeah, it's been recalled. Here's a new transmission. But yes, Poor Frankie was supposed to be back at work and he kept calling his boss. They can't fix it here. They can't fix it here. They can't fix it here. But this time he should be in good working condition to get us down to Rocky Point. So it'll be just as hot, but there will be water.
If not, the juke's on you.
That's right. The juke is on me.
Well, I see now why you feel trapped where you are.
Okay, so here's the weekend misadventure.
Mm.
Our internet went out because of a lightning strike, and it wasn't storming, okay? But that's what they said. Lightning strike. So it was out pretty much all weekend, but it was on and off in spurts. We started watching a movie. Of course, it went away. During one of the spurts where it was back up, I thought, well, I'm going to look at, some accounts online to make sure that everything's okay. And I don't know why I did this, but I have a PayPal account that's been paid off, not using it. And I went to look at it, and they were like 6 charges to Walmart.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they all had different people's names smushed together, and then the last name Persky. and
Like, I want to understand this. Wait. So it would be like Joe Johnson Persky,
Yes.
Mary Smith Persky.
Yeah, Terry Ryder Persky.
Oh, God.
And like I have this really long first name with the last name in it, and then Persky. And they gave addresses and phone numbers. And I'm like, what the fudgical nieces is this? So immediately I call PayPal and I get whoever in India.
Steve. Wow, how could you forget Steve in India?
Actually, this was a woman and she gave me a man's name. I can't remember what it was, like
Steve.
Josh or something. Steve, yeah. So Steve from India's female doppelganger told me I had to call Walmart. And so I called Walmart and it was Steve again. But at least Steve at Walmart said that they could refund all those charges. And I said, and would you please lock me out of the Walmart app, which I don't have on anything, and keep it locked. But isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Each of these charges were like around $50 for weird things, like male diapers, like grown-up man diapers.
They're just going to return them for cash. That's all.
You think so?
Oh, sure.
Well, they can't. Because nobody bought them. Because I got Walmart in time to cut them all off, except for the male diaper one, which I got an email today saying that it will be delivered Wednesday.
Well, it serves them right.
I'm gonna put it on the goat that keeps coming in through the dog door, because we had to clean up entirely too much goat pee and little raisins this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, it was right.
Well, wait. So
I'll put a diaper on him.
I didn't properly understand this before. What you're telling me isn't that they went into the Walmart near you and bought these things.
Online.
They went online and bought these things. So if they're having these things delivered, then you could just call the cops and say these people are hacking accounts and having stuff delivered.
Well, I left that up to Walmart.
I would totally.
I don't want to deal with cops.
Is it near them? You?
Near who? What?
The Walmart diaper
Tucson.
deliveries?
No, one's in Tucson, one's in Glendale. They're all down in the valley. None of them are up anywhere near me.
I would totally sick the cops on them.
I might. After I get these adult diapers, I hope they deliver them to my address, because the dude really needs them as long as Kevin doesn't eat them off.
Well, why would they be delivering them to your address then now that you've...
Because I called them and yelled at them, and they were supposed to have canceled. All these orders came through yesterday.
Are you worried that anything else may be showing up on your PayPal account?
I totally changed every single password, including all my Google stuff, which is why I couldn't get into anything on the computer, because I haven't been on the computer since Friday. And I closed out the Walmart, made my PayPal account face recognition only. So unless it's somebody who looks just like me. Unfortunately for
Does that
them,
even really work? I mean, I have to tell you, I
yeah,
I got a phone a few years ago, and they asked me if I wanted to have fingerprint recognition on it.
yep,
And apparently my hands are just baby soft and smooth on either side because like the fourth time I tried to get in with my fingerprint, it said, "We're about to lock you out of your account forever. Too many fake tries." And I went driving as fast as I could back to the phone store and said, "Help, help. If I touch this one more time, it's going to burst into flame and lock me out of my account forever." Undo this thing that you did to make it recognize my fingerprint. And ever since then, I'm like, you know what? Rather than risk being locked out of my account forever and losing everything, go ahead, hack me. That was my gamble with the devil.
see, it happened to me. No, don't hack you. But I read an article that said the safest way to protect all your information is make it face and fingerprint to get in.
What a
And
pain
so,
in the neck that is.
no, actually, it's a lot easier because I don't have to remember any numbers or passwords.
Well, it's easier because you're stuck at home. Wait till you try to do it while you're out.
Well, if I'm standing out on my deck, it doesn't work. But if I'm in my house, it
Something in the
does.
dark. If you want to do something in the dark, they'll be like, "Can't see you. Sorry."
Why would I be doing something in the
I
dark?
bought stuff on Amazon in the strangest places you would not believe.
I don't want to know.
I mean, I've bought stuff in Amazon pretty much every place but in outhouses in the Wisconsin woods. I mean, just about any place but there, I have bought stuff. Oh, I think I told you I've decided to let my hair just be gray. I'm trying
Yes.
it, right? So all my friends are sending me helpful tips on how I can go gray faster, including this procedure that costs about $1,000 and makes you sit in a chair for about 4 days while they make your hair do something. If you're just patient enough, it'll do all by itself anyway.
Right. They
Right.
want you to bleach it and dye it and blah,
I
blah,
don't
blah, blah,
even
blah.
know. And everyone has sent me these things. And so my girlfriend was like, "Oh, I have a friend who did this. It was only $600." And I'm thinking to myself, why don't I just pay? It's the same attitude I had when people started paying for bottled water, except now I don't think that's as weird. And I'm wondering if I'm going to get to a point where it seems perfectly normal to pay $600 to have your hair go gray. I hope that never happens, but I no longer bet on things that sound ridiculous, sounding ridiculous forever. I no longer believe in that. Besides,
My hair's a different color almost every month.
right, but
And I've never paid anything close to $600.
but you don't want it to go gray.
No, I don't.
Gray is a specialty.
No, I don't want to look like my husband's mother. Which I
No
have-
comment. No comment
It's
on that one. Nothing
Yeah.
to say here. Nope. Keep
I'm
driving.
smacking you through
Keep walking.
Zoom.
Keep going.
Yeah. My AI, whatever. Can you feel it on the back of your head? But yes, I changed it a lot. I did dye it gray once, and it didn't cost $600. And all it did was make me look really old.
Well, this may
So-
make me look really old, but I'm trying to get out of town. I'm speaking at I don't even know how this exactly happened, but I'm kind of excited and it's going to be fun. I was speaking to the New Mexico broadcasters, and I'm actually very excited about this because I know a lot of broadcasters in a lot of places, but I don't think I know any New Mexico broadcasters. So this will be fun. It sort of happened by accident, and I was going to do this with a friend of mine who's also speaking, but she has COVID, so it's just me.
Oh.
And yeah.
You know, it would be really cool if you get some of the Navajo broadcasters, because a lot of the reservation that starts here in Arizona spills over into New Mexico. And when we've been traveling before, you get into this whole stretch where all you can get is Navajo radio, and they actually speak Navajo,
Cool.
which is pretty cool. Yeah, except that you don't understand a word they're saying.
No, but it's a
Frank-
very cool sounding language.
Right. Well, Frankie said that he works with a lot of Navajos. He said he's learned enough that he knows when they're calling him bad names.
I think most people
So-
can figure out, unless you're paranoid like me and you think that anything you can't understand is a bad name or a bad thing that's being said about you, which is just nothing more than ego, which is probably what they'd be saying about me. So you see, I'm right.
There you go.
Just to recap, right about the paranoia, wrong about the mechanical hint. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.